Hello class, this is Mr. Eggleston, and this is the CYU, Check Your Understanding, for Lesson 8.1 for Algebra 1, Geometric Sequences from Recursive to Explicit. So we saw in our last lesson that the explicit rules for an exponential function is given by this right here. F of n, term number, is n, equals f of 0, which is the 0 term, times r, the common ratio, to the nth power. So the very first question here is basically using that. They tell you the initial term of 13 and the common ratio of 5. So f of n, right, explicit rule, so f of n equals, our initial term was 13 times common ratio of r, they tell us r is 5 to the nth power. And that's the rule, okay? A lot of times they would write it as f of n equals 13 parentheses 5 to the nth power. Okay. Table below gives the first 6 terms of a geometric sequence. What is the common ratio? To do this, we have to find the ratio of like 81 to 43. R equals 81 over 243, which should equal 27 over 81, which should equal 9 over 27. The reason I did that is I'm just trying to show you any of these ratios would have worked. I would have jumped right here and looked at these two, because I know 9 over 27 is 1/3. So 243 divided by 3 is 81. 81 divided by 3 is 27. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 1 divided by 3 is 1/3. So the common ratio is 1/3. Now write an explicit rule. That would be f of n. Notice on the table, they give you the 0 term. So f of 0 is 243. So we got 243 times 1/3, that's r to the nth power. Okay, you could check it. You could put n equals 0 into this. 1/3 to the 0 is 1, because any number to the 0 power is 1, times 243 is 243. If it's 1, then it would be 243 times 1/3, or 243 divided by 3, which indeed is 81. So it works. Okay, now, and that's how you do the second question. Question 3, a certain shirt at a retail store is originally priced $75. That's the original price. Each month that the shirt is still in stock, the price of the shirt is reduced by an additional 10%, so that it is 90% of the previous month's price. Describe why the price of the shirt can be described using a geometric sequence. Well, that's because you're starting with the original price of 75, and then you're going to multiply by its 0.9, that's 90%, times 0.9, again 90%. You would just keep doing that. So it's repeated multiplication. Okay, and it could be written as, well, I'm going to write the explicit. P as a function of m, the month number, equals the 75 times 0.90 to the m power. Okay, so can we describe why? Because we are multiplying by 0.9 each time. It's repeated multiplication. So I wrote it up here. P of m will equal your P of 0, your initial term, times r to the mth power, which is 75 times 0.90 to the mth power. And that's how you do this. All right, have a good day.